Everyone is asking right now, should I buy or should I wait? And honestly, it feels like waiting could be the smart move, right? Based on the interest rates, everything that's going on, and just the uncertainty with a lot of the stuff. Rates feel high, right? The home prices haven't crashed. They haven't really come down. They've stayed the same. And everyone online is just saying to stay patient. Just be patient. But here's the problem with that. And here's the problem with being patient. Sure, it can work. We're going to talk about all the scenarios. But what people are waiting for doesn't always happen the way they think or at the time they think, etc. Right? So today I'm just going to break this down. No headlines. And I'm going to show you exactly when buying now makes sense and when waiting actually costs you money. Okay? And one of these scenarios is actually when waiting is going to be the most expensive decision you can make. So we're gonna break it all down. Stay tuned. Most buyers don't even see it coming. So stay with me. Let me know what you think and leave any of your questions in the comments below. If you're new to the channel and you want to know all there is about living in Cleveland, Ohio, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you can stay up to date on all things Cleveland. My name is Kip Sweeney with Moving to Cleveland, Ohio, powered by Mancuso Homes and eXp Realty. We get calls from people just like yourself looking to buy or sell in the next 9 to 90 days. Whatever that time frame is, we're here to help you. So in the description box below is my contact information. If you're local, let's meet up for some coffee, some drinks, whatever you might want. Your choice, right? I'm down for it all. If you're out of state or anywhere else, we can hop on a phone call, a FaceTime, Zoom, whatever it may be. I'm here to help you. So just reach out to me in any way that you're comfortable with, and I'd be happy to take you through it. But nonetheless, let's jump into the video and talk about when the right time is to buy for you. All right, guys. So I don't know if I got a rosacea going on. I know a lot of people probably don't care, but I'm just going to point it out in the beginning of the video. But nonetheless, let's talk about what the problem is. We're going to frame the problem, okay? So right now, buyers feel stuck. They don't know whether they should buy. They don't know what they should do. There's a lot of different factors going on that are keeping them kind of in their position, keeping them from moving forward. We've got higher interest rates than a few years ago. Home prices haven't dropped like people expect them to. And finally, a ton of mixed opinions online, right? All the gurus and all this other stuff are saying one thing or another thing. And I'm not saying I'm a guru, but I'm going to just take you through to make sure that you yourself can make the right decision. Okay? So you don't need somebody just to tell you exactly what to do. You can make the decision yourself, and that's what we're here for. But some people are saying, wait, prices are going to fall. Others saying, buy now before it gets any worse, right? So what is it for you? Because reality is that both sides are partially right, partially wrong, right? Because they're missing how the market actually moves. And of course, the big factor is where they're actually buying. Just because something shows something on the national news doesn't mean it applies every single spot, right? So keep this in mind as we go through the video and we talk about whether this is the time for you to buy or not. So the three variables really that control everything. These are going to be the variables that tell you whether to buy now or wait, right? That's going to be interest rates, the home prices, and the buyer competition. These are going to be your three most important variables. And here's what most people don't understand. It's that these don't move together. They're not in conjunction with one another. They usually move against each other in all honesty. So when one improves, the other one's usually going to get worse and vice versa. So what we really need to do is take this into consideration and we need to understand which one matters the most to us. So let's break down some scenarios. All right, so scenario number one, if rates drop. This is what everyone is waiting for, right? Lower interest rates. I have people that I know that have a 2% rate and 2.9 and a 3.2%. It's insane, right? And they're stuck in a position because they're like, well, if I were to move, I sell off my rate, probably end up paying more for a same size or similar home. And it's an issue. I mean, it's clear as day, right? So the scenario, if rate drops, sounds great, right? Because the lower rates mean that the monthly mortgage, your monthly payments are lower in theory, right? So here's what actually happens in the real world. When rates drop, buyers come out of the shell. So more buyers come out, more competition is garnered, right? And because now that affordability seems more in line with what everyone's thinking, people are all jumping to buy a house now. So they think they're gonna get a better price and a better monthly payment. It seems like what's gonna be the best bet, right? It makes sense in theory, but it feels this way and it's really just a theory because what's really gonna happen next is your demand spikes, you have more competition, you have more multiple offers, and prices get pushed up. Now, as a preface, when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm talking about specific homes too. For the most part, we're really looking into turnkey homes, ready to move in, because sure, if this is the case, price drops and rates drop, there's gonna be homes out there that you're gonna get a great deal on, right? If you're okay doing the work, go for it. You're going to get a great deal. There's going to be some competition with that because there's others that will do the work as well, but it's not going to be like some of these that, have such a crazy over ask appraisal gap and addendum with it, just making sure that they can lock up the home and going against tons of other buyers, because in reality, that's where most people are, right? So if you're open to being in this little nestle, or I don't know what you want to call this, sack, I guess, weird way to put it, but if you're open to that like area, for sure, this is gonna be great for you. So this is why everything kind of has a little like star asterisk by it, right? So yes, all right, so talking about those turnkey homes, your rate is lower, but now you're competing against more buyers. You have to offer more if you want to win in multiples. You're going to have to waive contingencies because other buyers are going to, and you're dealing with more pressure, right? So again, with a lot of these, I've spoken about them in some of my videos prior, but if there's more competition, you're going to be protecting yourself less in your offer. You're going to be paying more, and you're going to have to give up some things in order to get a seller to take your offer because other buyers are doing so as well, right? And so that's why a lot of the times you see buyers 1, 2, 3 offers in, stay conservative because they're nervous. They don't listen to their agent. They don't want to do X, Y, and Z because they've been told otherwise their entire life. Then they're like, you know what? I'm tired of losing offers. Let's do it. Let's take away the inspection. Let's take away, or let's offer cash. I don't know where all the cash just came from, but let's do that, right? So these things matter, and they matter from the get-go. If that's truly the home that you want and you don't want to lose out, make sure you're listening to your agent and you're paying attention. I know we just took a little twist, went off tangent, but keep that in mind. Long story short, with all of that, with that competition, the increase in price, going over ask, etc., the monthly payment really may not improve as much as you think. So it's still important. It still can. It's important to do the numbers though, and to make sure if you're truly waiting for the interest rates to drop, what does that drop have to look like for a 50K over ask offer, or home prices going up will determine whether or not that's a wash, right? So lower rates don't make homes cheaper. They make buyers more aggressive. Scenario 2, if the price drops. So let's flip it. We're gonna say the price drops, right? So now a home that's sitting at 500,000, the market's changing, is coming down to 450,000. Let's just say that happens. This sounds like a dream, right? So historically, when prices do drop, it's usually tied to economic uncertainty, job concerns, tighter lending, which in theory means it can become harder to qualify for a mortgage, buyers become more cautious, and lenders tighten up. So even though homes are cheaper, your actual ability to take advantage of that opportunity might be a little worse, right? So the home came down, but what is your situation like now? Are you able to get into that house and afford it? Are you comfortable with that monthly mortgage? Are you worried about your job, right? So a lot of different factors that come into play, because with that, the price is dropping because of the economy, because of job uncertainty or something of that nature. We're all kind of feeling that. And so for you personally, you have to make sure that, okay, $500,000 budget was in the cards, but is it still in the cards? My job, with any other life factors, with the economy, whatever else might be happening. So it's things that you have to take into consideration, and that's typically, in theory, what we normally see when prices do come down. Not saying that's always the case. Again, throughout this video, I'm just gonna have these prefaces and asterisks because you have to make sure that this foolproof scenario. I mean, there's different situations for everything, but this is the most common, right? So it's not as simple to just say, oh, I'm gonna wait for prices to drop. And I'm gonna get to a different part of the video, but in Cleveland, Ohio, people are complaining about prices, right? We are still one of the most affordable places to live, but it's still people that live here. I've lived elsewhere, so I've seen what prices are like, but people that have not moved here and seeing this increase in price, they are just shocked, right? They're blown away that these houses that they grew up on that used to be $25,000 are now going for $500,000, $700,000, right? So it's a very interesting time, and you can't always think about it from history, from, oh, wait until the prices drop. Oh, it used to be like this. Things are changing. And that's the biggest thing. When we wait, things continue to change. All right, so number 3, the waiting trap. Just as we were kind of speaking out on that last point, when this is where a lot of buyers kind of get burnt. They wait, and while they're waiting, there's a couple things that actually take place that happen. Prices don't drop, rates don't drop enough, rent keeps increasing if you're renting, right? So if you're someone that is trying to get out of a rental to save money to continue or to be able to purchase at home, and you're not building any equity if you are currently renting. So those are 2 factors that are going to happen. So 1 year later, after you said, oh, I'm gonna rent and wait to make the money that I need to make to get into the house, well, now you might have been paying more rent, so the amount that you save was not that much, or you're buying the same house but at a lot more expensive a price, and you're not building any equity. So now you're gonna wait, your rent's increasing, so maybe what you're saving isn't as drastic as you expected it to be. Or if you're waiting for prices to drop because you need to move to a different area simply for to enlarge in the home because you have a family coming, or whatever it may be, whether you're buying or renting, whether you're renting and then gonna buy, or you already have a home but you need to upgrade or do something else and you're buying again, waiting that year, worst thing that typically happens is that you're buying the same house but now for more money than you would have paid before. And it happens constantly. I mean, it's going to, based on when homes continue to sell in the neighborhood and things continue to improve, or you see those neighborhoods continue to get the upgrades, that's just helping each and every one of those houses that are going to sell eventually to get more money each and every time. So now you've lost the time renting, or you've lost the time, maybe getting your house ready to sell or getting into your new home with your family or whatever it may be. You've lost equity, but you've also lost opportunity. The opportunity to get into a home and to start that process there and make that make that equity, to make those memories and to build upon something that you really want, right? So waiting feels safe, but it's not always smart. Waiting feels good. If you're not ready though, you're not ready, right? So this comes back to making sure that your numbers make sense, your monthly mortgage makes sense. You have to ensure with your lender that it's something you can afford. Don't just look at, I can buy a $500,000 house. Make sure that the monthly payment is what you can afford. That's where you want to budget, because the monthly payment can differ on a $500,000 house based on HOA, the community, the area, taxes, etc. So keep that in mind as well. There's a lot to keep in mind, and I just keep saying that. All right, so we're going to bring this back into Cleveland because that's where I am, right? So happy to help you wherever you are, but Cleveland is where I am. So we're obviously not Miami. We're not New York. We're not LA, right? So we're going to bring in local because it's a lot different than, like I said, on the national news. Here in Cleveland, the entry prices are definitely lower. Inventory of updated homes is limited, and demand in good areas is still strong. We had a great market last year. We still have a strong market. We still have strong buyers because of a lot of things that are going on to the city and a lot of people that are coming here. So what happens? The good homes, they still sell quickly. They go over ask. They sell in a couple days, in a weekend. The well-priced homes are still getting their attention. They're getting their views. They're getting the eyes, and they're getting the showings. Those are going to sell. And of course, the buyers are still competing in certain pockets. Rocky River, Bay Village, some areas of Lakewood, etc. These are all areas where people are still getting multiple offers. People are still competing, and you're seeing buyers are trying their best to get into that area, and they're offering more and more to do so. So in Cleveland, you really need to understand what's happening to make sure that you're getting the house that you want, getting it at the right price. So this doesn't mean that waiting is always going to get you a deal. Sometimes it just changes who you're competing against, right? Because for this instance, right, when people are saying, the market's bad, the interest rates are high, we still have offers going over ask. We still have people that are buying like that with cash that are moving on homes very, very quickly. It doesn't change. Maybe what happens is the buyer pool changes. There's always people that are going to have to move. So you're always going to have to fight, not necessarily you're always gonna have to compete against these people and to make sure that you're able to get in that position. But the first and the most important thing is that you're in a position to actually take that leap and to do so. So in the end, we kind of just discussed how the fact is people are always gonna be buying. They have to be. People are always gonna be selling. Jobs, relocation, upgrading, I should say, or upsizing, downsizing, right? Things change. People need a ranch. People want stairs. People want more space. Businesses are bringing new employees, etc. It's happening whether or not the interest rates are great, or they're awesome, the market's great, or it's not, etc. So here's the real answer. And this is kind of what I've been emphasizing throughout the video. If you should buy now, I should say, if you're financially ready, making sure the numbers are ready, you have a nice job, you're comfortable, stable, exactly where you want to be, you can comfortably afford those payments, and you plan to stay at least 3 to 5 years. Now, if you're out of the state, that's probably different for you, but here in Cleveland, if you want to make sure that you're getting your money in case you have to resell, 3 to 5 years is what you're going to want to stay at the bare minimum, pretty much, right? That's going to be the sweet spot. So keep that in mind. Now, if you should wait, you should if you're stretching your budget, if you don't know if you're going to be able to keep that monthly budget long term, if it's something that's a little sketchy, a little uncomfortable, don't put yourself in that position. If you're unsure about your timeline, if maybe your job's going to take you somewhere, maybe you're looking to move or thinking about moving in 3 years to a different state, don't buy now. Why would you do that? Just to buy? Or maybe you're just uncertain if you're gonna have children, if you're in the near future, then maybe make sure that you're buying the right house, right? So that's kind of a caveat to all that. Or if you need to improve your credit or savings, right? Again, money based. If you need to improve your credit, that is going to help you with your loan and your percent interest. But saving wise, obviously, if we need to save up a little bit more to make sure that we can make that monthly budget, then do so. However, just know that this isn't referring to your 20% down, etc. You don't need 20% down, so just keep that in mind. It's more so about making sure that you have the monthly budget covered and you're comfortable with it. So really, I'm sorry that you sat this long for the video. I hope to help, but this decision isn't about the timing. It isn't about the interest rate. It isn't about the market. It isn't about anything else. It's really about the timing in your life. And if there's a dream home out there that you really enjoy, if you really love, then do it. If you can, of course. So how do smart buyers work? Smart buyers don't try to predict the market, right? It's never going to be able to be predicted perfectly. If it was, I think we'd all probably take different avenues. If we knew exactly what was happening with stocks and all that other stuff and all that good jazz, we would have, everyone would be in it, right? If everyone knew about Bitcoin in 2008, we'd all be not making this video and not sitting here, right? So keep that in mind, right? We're never going to be able to perfectly predict the market. So there's going to be avenues we have to take. There's going to be some uncomfortableness. Is that a word? We're going to get uncomfortable at times. There's some uncertain maybe, but they focus on control. That's the caveat. That's the true factor. And one of the biggest mindset shifts is this. So marry the house, date the rate. Now, I know there's people out there that are going to say something completely different about this, but for the most part, it's going to make the most sense, right? Because if rates drop later, you refinance. If they don't, you're still building equity in your home and you're locking in your housing cost, right? So don't stay with a fixed loan, by the way. You know, we're not going to get some crazy variable. Don't do that. That can really, really hurt you. But nonetheless, if you're dating the rate, you at least understand, okay, if I can make these monthly payments, great. You're very comfortable, but in the long run, if a rate comes that's a lot better, we can refinance. However, nonetheless, you're still comfortable with that monthly budget, you're building equity, and you have a house that is yours. You can do whatever you want. If you want to punch a wall in the hole, if you want to punch a hole in the wall, you more than well are allowed to, right? You might get in trouble by wife, spouse, partner, whatever, but you can do it. So, you know, that's the 2 cents here. You can then, of course, get in a better deal, save more money when those rates do come down and refinance, and then it's an even better and easier payment for you. So again, I appreciate you guys being here to the video. Again, I hope I was able to shorten this video a little bit for you guys. I know, especially mine, the attention span is a little different. So I appreciate you guys listening and being here for it. But nonetheless, if you're trying to figure out your move, I hope this was helpful for you. Leave a comment below if you have any other questions about your own situation, or if you're moving to Cleveland, I'd be happy to help you. If you're out of the state and you need some help, I can definitely refer you to a great agent as well. We have a great network. So nonetheless, I'll help you think through it. We can create a little master plan together. Otherwise, take care. Have a great, I was gonna say weekend, it's a Friday that I'm filming this, but have a great whatever day, evening, night, weekend, morning, and let me know if there's any specific topics that you want to hear about next. But nonetheless, please do drop a comment, drop a like, and if I can help you, let me know. Talk soon.